Hey, me again. Your old pal Jose. Or at least what's left of him. Anyway, you asked, so here it is. The story of my first paranormal Christmas and all that it entails. Oh, come on. Destiny groaned from what had already become her side of the bed. You can't be weird about Christmas too. Everyone loves Christmas. I don't know. Just haven't been a holiday person for a long time, I said with a shrug. That staticky feeling starting to build up in the back of my mind again, making me wish the conversation would end before my brain almost exploded again. What's the big deal anyway? What's the big deal? She almost shrieked as she shot upright in bed. It's Christmas! It's all the decorations and food and presents and Santa and Christmas movies. It's so much fun. Come on, don't be a wet blanket. She hummed, gently nudging me with her shoulder. Before I could even think of what to say, there was a loud bang from Rissa in Madison's room, followed by a raspy, "Oh my god, I can't breathe!" I should probably go check on the kids, I joked, rolling out of bed and dragging my feet into the hallway. What the hell are you two doing in here? I asked when I pushed the door open and found Rissa laying in the middle of the floor, rolling back and forth while she tried to catch her breath. Madison said she could balance me on her feet. Bitch, drop me, she wheezed, still rocking back and forth. I said my bad, Madison mumbled from where she was still perched on the bed, looking down at Rissa. What was it? Destiny asked when she got to the room. Just those two goofing off, I answered, a small smile still on my face. Okay, I'll do Christmas, I finally said as I crawled under the blanket. Really? Yay! She chirped excitedly as she wiggled herself under the covers next to me. Thank you. Yeah, I guess it'll be different now that I have people I actually do the whole thing with, so why not? Yeah. I grumbled when my leg started to ache again. What's the matter? It's the leg again, isn't it? She asked when she saw me shift uncomfortably. I can't still believe Louis did that. Yeah, but I mean, how could he have known that I'd catch a piece of suicide bomber bone to the leg? He didn't. It could have hit you in the face or the neck or just killed you instantly instead. She argued, her head resting on her pillow. Now, little spoon or big spoon? Big spoon, please, I said, rolling over on my side and letting her arms wrap around me. So, what do you want for Christmas? I said I was sorry, God! Madison complained in the kitchen the next afternoon after Rissa refused to talk to her all day. She still mad at her? Destiny asked, popping up in the middle of her, we'll call it an apology. Yeah, a little bit, but Madison made a joke about banging her on the floor earlier and she grinned a little, so she's getting over it, I think, I answered, digging around in the fridge. You still going to the park today? Yeah, but it shouldn't take too long. I'll meet you back at the mansion later. You still got to do the, detective thing. Yeah, it shouldn't take too long though. Something about a few of the elves at Woodhaven getting into a fist fight and damaging some property. Kinda cut and dry. They barely even need me. I just want to get there and get back before Jonah can stop badgering me about all that recent shit. I told her as I stood up with a slice of leftover pizza hanging out of my mouth. Oh, okay. Just be careful. I gotta go. See you back at my place, she said before she vanished. What's wrong with you? Abigail started interrogating me as I walked through the front door to the mansion. Hey, son! She yelped when the bright outside light of the setting sun hit her dead in the face. Oh, sorry, my bad, I apologized, hurrying to shut the door behind me before she starts to bake. Did you know the Wood Elves have their own language? With their own swear words? Yeah, just realized, stupid question. I sighed as I looked around at the stacks of boxes cluttering up the hallway. Finally moving your stuff up into the attic? Prophecy's been helping me get it there, she answered as I looked around, knowing I'd probably ask the next question, but... Okay, so why is it all down here in the hall? Huh? What do you mean? She asked back as she sifted through one of the boxes. Well, I mean, why is she poofing it down here in the middle of the hall instead of just upstairs to your room? There's gotta be a reason, right? Before she had a chance to answer, poof, Prophecy shows up right beside me. Oh, hey, I was wondering when you'd be here. Des said you should have showed up hours ago. She hummed in that usual cheerful tone of hers. Hey, why are we stacking stuff up in the hall? Abigail asked before I was even able to start explaining why I was so late. Wait, I thought this is where you wanted it. Prophecy answered after thinking for a second and apparently coming up blank. No, I thought there was some reason you weren't... Ugh, oh my god, we're so stupid. Abigail groaned, flopping down on the floor between two of the larger boxes. In the middle of her mini tantrum, Hope comes strolling through, which was a big help because I was just about to ask where she was. Finally moving your stuff in? Wait, why is it all over the hall? Wouldn't it have been easier to just... Yes, we know! Abigail groaned again from between her boxes. Fessy, yeah, I know. I'll get to poofing. Prophecy told her as she reached down and grabbed a couple of the boxes before disappearing. Abigail grumbled quietly to herself in frustration, folded her up with several more boxes. You look like you're about to ask me something, Hope suddenly says as I watch Abigail stumble up the stairs. Huh? Oh, yeah, actually. So Destiny kinda talked me into doing the whole Christmas thing this year for the first time in forever. And that got me to thinking, what's something you want for Christmas? I asked, sliding the box to the side with my foot. Christmas? Like Santa and goofy trees and the little cookie people? She asked, stepping over the box to get to me. That's the one about Jesus getting nailed to the cross. No, it's the one where people pretend it's his birthday. The crucifixion one is Easter. Well, and Good Friday. The one with the rabbit that hides eggs. Still not sure on what the law says about where he gets those eggs from, but... Anyway. Wait, they call the day he got tortured to death Good Friday? Seriously? Yeah, I guess that's why Tom's always calling it a death cult. Most holidays have some kind of weird, creepy backstory. We just try not to think about it, I said with a shrug. Jeez, there's a lot of cow print shit in here. I mumbled under my breath, looking down into one of the half-open boxes. So, what do you want for Christmas? Oh, I don't know. Never really celebrated it before. I guess I just want to see what it's like this time, really. She finally answered in the middle of snooping through one of the boxes. You don't have to get me anything. You're already the reason why I even get to be here for it anyway, you know? When she said that, I felt my heart flutter a little bit. But once the warm, fuzzy feeling died down, I realized what I had to do. Okay, I think I see what you mean. I told her as I walked into the kitchen and pulled my phone out to search through the contacts, before finally hitting the call button. Hey, it's me. Okay, I'll do it, but I have a condition. Once I was done with the call, I ended up just digging through the cabinets and pouring a bowl of cereal to snack on whilst I waited for Destiny to get there. Halfway through a bowl of Cocoa Puffs, the Count came strolling through with a big wreath in his hands. I stopped, spoon lingering between the bowl and my mouth, and watched as he looked around the kitchen, seemingly looking for a place to hang it. What about over the microwave? Nobody ever uses those cabinets. Won't be in the way there, I finally said when I could see him start to get frustrated. Oh, yes, it is perfect, he said cheerfully, almost bouncing over to the microwave. There we are. Excellent. It wasn't until he had finally finished beaming up at the freshly hung wreath and whipped his head around in my direction that I realized I might have just screwed up. Jose, are you in here? Oh, there you are, Destiny said about an hour later when she'd finally found me. The Count had constricted me into putting up Christmas decorations, and by the time Destiny found me, we were halfway through hanging ornaments on the massive tree in the corner of the living room. Oh, yeah, I forgot to warn you about that. Think so? I mumbled as I hung another Scooby-Doo figurine on one of the branches. How was work? Looks like you got held up too. Yeah, Sobek is having us do a Christmas theme, so there's lots of junk we have to do that we normally don't, she answered, pulling me away from the tree by my wrist. You're not gonna make me do some more decorating now, are you? I asked nervously as she led me out of the living room. No, she giggled. It's been a long day. I just want to cuddle up on my bed and watch movies. Preferably the Grinch. I'm always down for some Grinch. Ooh, wait up, I said as I pulled it towards the kitchen. I want to make some popcorn first, I told her when I saw the look on her face. We were about at that part in the movie where Baby Grinch murders the ceramic Santa plate when... Oh, thank God, he wasn't doing it, Madison blurts out as she comes storming into Destiny's room. Oh, but I got a question. When you are, does he still do that thing where he... Medicine? Yeah? She answers a little quieter when Destiny suddenly cuts her off mid-question. Remember what I said about not wanting to hear when you and Jose were together? Keep it up, and they'll end up using that tattoo on your neck as a bullseye. Destiny warned from where she was still balled up on the other side of me. Oh yeah, my bad. Anyway, I got a package coming in the mail. If it gets there when I'm not home, whatever you do, don't open it. Seriously, don't. She told me before disappearing back down the hall. What do you think's in there? I don't even want to know, I said before Destiny could finish. With her, it could be anything. I trailed off as the short woman in what was undeniably one of those old Playboy bunny costumes walked past the door. You saw that, right? Saw what? She asked, sitting up to look around me and into the hall. What did you see? Hold on, I gotta see what this girl's up to now, I groaned, worried about what the hell Abigail could possibly be dressed like that for. Stop! I shouted at her back just before she could reach the corner. Seriously? Why? And do I even really want to know? Probably not, she answered, her back still turned. Yeah, but still. Why? Things are a little slow at the shop. So Prophecy said she'd help me make some extra money online, she said coyly, trying to inch her way around the corner as she spoke. No. Hey, no! I yelled when she took off. Destiny! Abigail's trying to do weird shit on the internet! Get her before she wedges herself in somewhere! Huh? What weird shit? She asked, emerging from her room, the Grinch still playing in the background. She's in a Playboy bunny outfit, you do the math! What? Ew! Abigail, get back here! She shouted at the still fleeing rabbit, but before she could do anything, Abigail slid to a halt and yelled back. Jose saw me naked! Huh? Destiny mumbled, her poof seeming to stop halfway through as she stood there with this bewildered look on her face. God damn it, Abigail, you knee-high asshole! I shouted as she finally rounded the corner. I'll explain later, I told Destiny before I took off after her. Once I got to the other end of the hall, I saw Madison at the other end, and the idea crossed my mind just in time. Madison, take her down! Say what you want about Madison. I sure do. But she's always been a trooper. The second the sound hit her ears, she jumped out like she was sliding to home plate and wrapped both arms around Abigail's ankles, sending her face first into the floor. What the hell are you guys doing? Hope asked as she popped up in the middle of the hall after being drawn to the commotion. You playing dress up? She added, hoisting Abigail off the floor by her ankle. She was trying to do creepy shit on the internet for money. I wheezed once I caught up. We were trying to stop her. Why? Hope asked with an unexpectedly blunt tone in her voice. She said things are slow at the shop. No, I mean, why you're trying to stop her? She interrupted me as she let Abigail drop to the floor. She isn't a kid. Destiny, you tell her, I said, trying to pawn the question off when I couldn't come up with anything that made sense. Why me? She argued. Wait, why are we trying to stop her? You shouldn't treat her like a child. Hope scolded in a rare moment of maturity and seriousness from her. She's stuck like that forever. There's a lot of garbage she's had to deal with because of it. So if she wants to make a few extra bucks off some gross men on the internet, then that's up to her, not you. I wanted to argue, a feeling in my gut that it's just really messed up refusing to go away. But before I could find the words, Destiny spoke up. I can't really argue with what she said. You're older than I am and all that, but you live here now. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. If you're hungry, we have food. If you need money for your shop, we have that too. Lots of it, okay? Oh, okay. I don't think... Yeah, okay. Why am I wearing this stupid thing then? Abigail said to herself as she strolled down the hall, pulling the bunny ears off and tossing them into Destiny's hands. Here, have fun. Have fun? I don't... Oh... Jose, come on. We're missing the Grinch. She said, suddenly grabbing me by the wrist and leading me back to her room, and situating the bunny ears on top of her head. So, what do you want for Christmas? You never told me. Destiny asked me from across the table the next morning. There's got to be something. Not a clue. I guess I'd rather be surprised, I answered, shrugging my shoulders as I played around with the scrambled eggs on my plate. Okay. So what you gonna get me, huh? She gave up and asked with a big grin on her face. I don't know. Still have a while to figure it out though, I admitted. So when did you see Abigail naked? I hacked when the question made me suck a chunk of scrambled eggs down my windpipe. You saw me topless too, Hope interjected when she strolled through the kitchen. Me still half choking on egg and slapping me on the back so hard the egg ended up in my sinuses. Accident. It was an accident. I wheezed once I was able to snort the egg from down between my eyeballs. I couldn't help but notice that Destiny was definitely more rattled about Hope thing than the Abigail thing. Probably because if she stood still, Hope's toes would stay bone dry in a rainstorm. Her boobs are way bigger than Abigail's. Is the picture I'm painting for you here. Anyway. I never got you back for that, did I? Hope asked as she stuck a hand into the fridge to retrieve a carton of orange juice. You almost strangled me to death. I had to blast you in the face with a UVC light to get away. Oh yeah. I never got you back for that, did I? Okay, I'm gonna get the movie ready, I said later that night as I headed to the living room from the kitchen. Wait for me, I'm coming too, Abigail shouted, picking up the large glass of dark brown liquid she'd been messing with up from the counter and trotting past me. Whoa, hey, wait, what the hell even is that? I asked, grabbing the collar of her shirt to keep it from getting away. Or do I even want to know? I sighed, looking back over my shoulder at the half-empty bottle of vodka still resting on the counter. Huh? This? She asked back, looking down at the glass. Basically, it's chocolate milk, really chocolatey milk, with vodka. But I mix them up before and freeze it into ice cubes so they keep the drink cold but don't water it down as they melt. I call it a Siberian skid mark. Abigail, I think you might have a problem, I said, shaking my head and turning her loose. You mean like an alcoholic? No, like an idiot. Just go watch the movie. I sighed, grumpy from being reminded that she's definitely funnier than I am when she wants to be. Once she disappeared around the corner, I turned to look back into the kitchen one more time and saw Destiny, doubled over holding the sides, trying not to laugh at me. You should know better by now, she finally cackled after a hard gasp. It might not seem like it at first, but she could probably do stand-up if she wanted to. Like really dark, shock value stuff, but still, she said as she struggled to stop laughing. It's the deadpan personality, throws me off every time. I'm never ready for it. I admitted with a shrug as she wrapped her arm around mine and pulled me along with her to the living room. So, what are we watching tonight? She asked once we reached the couch. Rare Exports. It's a Finnish movie about evil Santa Claus. I told her as we flopped down between Abigail and Hope. Wait for me, Prophecy yelled as she whipped around the corner, a bag of microwave popcorn in one hand and what I assumed to be her own Siberian skid mark in the other. So, this is how you celebrate Christmas? You just pile up in a room, watch Christmas movies, and eat junk food with each other? Hope asked skeptically from her side of the couch. I mean, except for the presents and junk on the 25th. Yeah, pretty much, I answered, stealing some of Prophecy's popcorn. I mean, there's some people who get way too into the whole commercial part of it, but Destiny, help me out here. I think what he means is that this is the part most of us look forward to the most. We just don't really think about it too much. I think the presents are more like supposed to be a way to remind someone that we're still thinking about them. Otherwise, it doesn't really make much sense. She explained, trying to sneak a sip of Abigail's drink while she was focused on the TV. Oh my god, there's so much chocolate, Abigail. Ew. Yeah, you needed to hide the taste of all the alcohol. There's a lot. Also, try not to breathe too close to an open flame for the next few minutes, she said with a tipsy giggle. Come on, start the movie. Oh, okay, I think I get it. Kinda. Hope said, sinking back into her spot, a soft smile slowly finding its way onto her face. What the hell am I supposed to get everyone? I asked myself the next day as I rode around, window shopping whenever the opportunity presented itself. And then I got a call. I look down at my ringing phone and see Paige's name. Ah, great. Bet he's not calling to wish me a holly jolly Christmas. I grumbled before I hit the answer button. So, as you can see, someone kicked the door in, stole the gifts, some of the other valuables, messed the place up, and took off. Paige said as he walked me into one of the apartments that'd been hit. What about the cans of Who Hash? Damn it, man. Did he have to take the last can of Who Hash too? I asked sarcastically. But from the look on Paige's face, he didn't find the humor in it. Anyway, I'll get right on it. Just keep those friends of yours as far removed from this as possible. And the fewer criminals involved in a crime, the better. He warned me before turning on his heels and leaving me alone in the apartment. Yeah, I know, I mumbled, rooting around for my phone as I watched him leave. Hey, Louie, I need a favor. So, what do you think we're dealing with here? The Grinch or the crackhead Santa from Friday After Next? Louie joked after he was done looking over the ransacked apartment. Honestly, I can't really handle finding out the Grinch is real right now. I answered, only half joking myself. I got a hunch what to look for, but I need a wider net to do it. And that's why I need you guys. So, what you thinking about that, Chief? He asked as I walked out of the apartment, and straight into Madison. Yeah, what you thinking about that, Chief? She parroted in a mocking tone she only ever uses with me. Move. I grumbled as I tried to squeeze by her. Just think about it for a second. Most of the people here are wood elves, right? Green skin, gray hair, pointy ears. Smash and grabs usually end up at pawn shops because they want to move it fast, not pass it out on eBay over the next 6 months, right? So? It wasn't an elf, was it? Madison asked after thinking for a second. Yeah, because they'd have to blend in enough to pawn the swag off. Louis continues for her. Oh! And now it's getting dark before the shops close. It's a vampire. One of those vampires did it. Because they don't stand out now if they smell like a walking sunblock factory at 7 a.m. in the summer. Madison keeps going. We're looking for one of the vampires. There you go, I said as we made our way down the stairs. We just gotta keep our eyes open on the local pawn shops for the next week or so. Drop in on all the known vampires. Well, maybe leave that one to me. We just can't be careless. Just because someone's a criminal doesn't mean they're stupid. So we shouldn't underestimate. I slowly trailed off as a figure emerged from one of the apartments ahead of us, dragging several black garbage bags of crap out with him. And then we locked eyes. Our opponent.
Hey, he's stealing their shit!
Madison yells into my ear as the guy drops his bags and breaks out into a full sprint.
Hey, get your ass back here!
She shouts, taking off after him, Louis close behind. The hell are we supposed to do if we actually catch him? I thought as I slowly eased into a jog to follow after them, already struggling to keep up with their long-legged asses. But it didn't take long for Louis to gas out and fall behind enough for me to catch up to him.
We ain't gonna be able to catch up with her, are we?
He gasped from beside me. Nah, probably not. But, hey, follow me, I told him, leading him back around the opposite direction.
Yo, what's the deal?
He asked as we took off around the corner. But before I could answer, our guy runs headfirst into his chest, and they both go sprawling.
Ah, shit, you rat! Fuck, that hurt!
Louis griped, dizzily picking himself up off of the concrete. Louis, grab him! I shouted before the guy could get himself together and take off again. But before Louis could even figure out what I was saying, Madison comes out of nowhere, nails the guy right in the back with both feet, damn near folds him in half, and sends him straight back to the ground. You gotta stop selling vampires meth. Whoa, hey, where the fuck is this coming from? Chris asked indignantly. They're stealing people's shit to fund the habit. No more meth. You got legitimate businesses, and I need your help with this detective deal. No more meth. Put my foot down on this one, I said as we watched a few of Paige's people load the burglar up and haul him away. Now come on, let's go sort all this crap out and get it back to the right people.
Hey, what the hell is that?
Destiny asked when she caught me dragging the heavy trunk through the front door back to the mansion. I don't know what's in it, at least. It was in the burglar's stash, but nobody claimed it. And I drew the short straw, so I gotta keep it until someone comes looking for the damn thing. Can you get my bike out of Louie's van, please? I said to her as I slid the trunk over to the side near one of the walls. I'm gonna go take a shower. I added as I wandered towards her room to retrieve some of the emergency clothes I started leaving in one of her drawers.
Okay. We were about to start the next movie before you got here, so hurry up.
She told me as she ran out to the van. Okay, just gonna rinse the sweat off. I told her. She disappeared through the door. Oh, hey Abigail. What you looking at? I asked when I saw her squatting down in front of the trunk I'd left in the hall. When she acted like she didn't hear me, I walked over to get a better look at what she was checking out, still trying to scrub the remaining moisture out of my hair. Hey, something wrong? I asked again a little louder.
Huh?
Oh,
what?
She asked, apparently forgetting what she was even doing. How many of those Siberian things have you already had? I asked, tossing the damn towel over my shoulder. Okay, no, never mind. I stopped her when she started counting her fingers and a second hand got involved. Just leave the thing alone. It's not mine.
Ah, fine.
She huffed before wobbling clumsily down the hall and back toward the kitchen.
We're about to watch Friday after next.
She told me, sounding like the halfway point between Rick Sanchez and Foster Brooks. Huh, Louis said something about that one, I said to myself. Before.
God, she is ruined,
Hope said when she popped up behind me.
She got kinda nervous when you called and said you were working on burglary, and really started knocking them back. Guess she had a weird feeling or something.
She explained with a shrug.
But Destiny was right. She really is a fun drunk.
Well, I made it back in one piece, I said with a shrug of my own, trying to make my way to the kitchen to get stuff for the movie.
Hey, wait,
Hope suddenly said, kind of with a weird tone in her voice. What do you want, you know, Christmas? Oh, I got it. I want water from a glacier in Alaska that's being blessed by an Eskimo medicine man. What? She asked, definitely confused by what I just said. Nothing. Don't worry about it. It's just a stupid thing. I chuckled,
wandering into the kitchen and cramming myself in beside Abigail, who was clawing for the jug of milk that was about one shelf too high for her to reach, since she'd apparently dropped to her knees and hadn't realized yet. "Abigail, use the rest of your legs," I told her, reaching down and pulling her up by the arms. "Oh, I thought the fridge got taller," she mumbled, dragging the jug from the shelf and staggering over to the counter. "You're lucky you can't get liver damage," I said under my breath, watching her attempt to stabilize herself when she mixed another glass of chocolate milk. "Okay, I guess let me try one." "Yes, here, take the glass. You gotta put a lot of chocolate into it. A lot of chocolate." "Hey, who moved the trunk?" I asked around 10 the next day, once I was able to roll off the couch where we'd all passed out the night before. "Who moved the what now?" the Count asked as he wandered down the hall to see what I was talking about. "Is something the matter?" I don't know. I left the trunk here in the hall last night and... No trunk," I answered, looking around for any sign of what might have become of the trunk in question. Become? Became? Yeah, whatever. I've done worse to the English language over the course of this story. That might explain the sudden appearance of a strange box in my lounge." He pondered absently as he strolled into the kitchen. "It's gotta be nice to live life as unbothered by anything as he is," I mumbled, heading back to the lounge where I found the trunk resting against the far wall. "Hey, who the... Why are you yelling?" Hope complained, appearing suddenly in the middle of the lounge. "Fun fact, if you can be drunk, you can be hungover." "Oh, sorry. I was just trying to figure out who moved the trunk into the lounge," I explained as she rubbed her head. "I bet pepper spray would really fuck you up good," I blurted out against my will. "Huh? Seriously?" "I mean, yeah, if you can get drunk and hungover. I think I might need to think about carrying bear mace or something." "Holy shit. We could have beat you up with pepper spray back then, couldn't we?" I thought out loud as the idea passed through my brain. I think I can handle some stupid liquid in a can. 8 hours later. "You sure about this? It doesn't seem like a very good idea," Destiny asked nervously as we all stood in the backyard. "Come on. Rissa, let me borrow that pistol that shoots these little capsules with the mace crap in them," I argued. This was her idea anyway. "You got the milk, right?" "Got it," Rissa shouted, running through the back door to join us. "This is so neat. It feels like we're in an episode of WORSTVERESE." "Buddy what?" Destiny asked, glancing over at Abigail, who was just getting ready to film the entire thing for posterity. "And why are you recording it?" "Schadenfreude." Abigail chuckled as she adjusted the settings on the camera. "WORSTVERESE. It's this guy on YouTube. He does all kinds of stupid stunts, kind of like they used to do on Jackass. He's pretty funny. The way they film it kind of makes you feel like you're in the yard with them," Rissa explained as Abigail continued to giggle menacingly while she played with the camera. "That's so stupid. Send me the link," Destiny said, taking a few steps away. "Come on, hurry up and shoot her. I've got a live stream in like 10 minutes. Prophecy suddenly shouted from the balcony above us. "Yeah, come on, don't be a wimp. Right here in the chest bone," Hope mocked, pressing one finger against her sternum. "You asked for it," I said before I squeezed the trigger. "Wait, I'm not recording yet," Abigail interrupted, jumping between us. "There's no way I'm not getting this." "Okay, and... yeah, go now. 2 in the chest. Face gets the rest." "You need to spend less time around Louie," I sighed. "Before..." Pop! Pop! I pulled the trigger twice, and both capsules hit almost dead between her collarbones. See? I told you they wouldn't... I told you they... She tried to say while holding back the coughs and hacks caused by the fumes wafting up into her face. I couldn't help wincing when I saw her eyes start to tear up and turn red, and the streams of snot begin to slither from her nose.
I'm not even worried. Milk! Rest of the milk! Bring me the milk! Hurry! Hurry!
She began to beg and shout at the same time her knees hit the grass and her hands hit her face. You probably don't want to rub it in too late, I sighed as the realization washed over her and the muffled squeal left her mouth. It wasn't until she got the milk and started pouring it on her face, which ran down her chest and carried all the remaining fluid from the capsules farther down her anatomy. And I think everyone in attendance could see on her face the exact moment it hit bottom.
Oh my god, it's in my...
It was about 10 or 15 minutes later, and Hope was still not doing great. She was sitting next to me on the back patio, spread-legged, in the middle of drowning her crotch in a gallon after gallon of milk. You okay? I finally asked between one of her tear-soaked sniffles. It was such a bad idea. She groaned, sitting the jug down beside her. I told you, Destiny said as she walked by, barely audible over Abigail's belly laugh at the footage she kept rewatching over and over again. What are you so grumpy about? She asked when she caught me sulking next to her. Are you cranky because you didn't think of pepper spray before when she was the bad guy? No. Leave me alone. I mumbled as I cut my eyes at Hope, who had taken to dribbling more milk directly into her eyeballs. But I was, in fact, thinking that I really needed to send out a mass text to all crunch workers that they all need to start carrying really strong mace with them, just in case. It wasn't until later when I asked Jekyll about why it works so well that he said, "Oh, well now that I think about it, maybe because it ain't actual injury. It's more a chemical process like smell or taste. Not physical trauma, but really bad irritation through normal bodily functions. It actually seems kind of obvious now that I think about it. Huh. Day late and $1 short, I guess."
Abigail, what are you doing over there?
Destiny asked later that night as we all piled back up onto the couch for another round of Christmas movies.
Definitely not uploading Hope getting maced to the internet. Oh god, it still burns a little.
Hope complained as she slowly lowered herself down to the couch.
You're both ridiculous.
Destiny giggled as she watched Hope shift uncomfortably in place, which I attributed to her now having her own half-empty Siberian skid mark and a glass on the table next to her.
What are we watching tonight?
We are doing Bad Santa 1 and 2 tonight, I told her as I flipped through the stack of dusty old DVD boxes.
Wait for me. I love those.
Prophecy yelled from the kitchen as we heard the clinking sound of a spoon being frantically stirred around inside a glass.
You're really onto something here,
she said, plopping down beside Abigail.
Here. I got her some of these today,
she added after sucking some of the dark chocolatey liquid through a straw.
What is it?
Hope asked when she sat the plastic bag down on the coffee table.
It's some of those soft peppermint candy things. I haven't been able to find them in a while, but me and Destiny and Fate used to love eating these around Christmas time. And, well, this was going to be our first Christmas without her. And our first one with you. So, I thought we would, keep the tradition going, she explained, opening the bag and tossing one of the small candies across the couch to Hope. After looking it over for a second, she finally pulled the wrapper off and popped it into her mouth. Oh, it's not bad, she eventually admitted after cautiously rolling around on her tongue for a while. Something told me you'd probably like it, Prophecy hummed triumphantly. Okay, do the thing. I want to watch the movie. You should probably take it easy on those skid marks or you might not make it to Christmas, I told Hope the next day when I found her hunched over the kitchen table with her head resting on her hands. I'll make you a banana smoothie. I bet your stomach's turning flips right now, I sighed, fishing through the cabinets for the blender. Make me one too, please, Destiny groaned as she staggered into the kitchen. Maybe we should take a night off from the Siberian skid marks,
You know, for your health, I suggested just seconds before.
Not a chance. Make me one of those banana things too,
Abigail mumbled, bringing up the rear.
Please make me one,
she added when she saw me cut eyes over my shoulder at her. Where'd you learn that those help? I did go to college, remember? I mean, I mostly stayed to myself, but there was a girl I had a crush on for a little while. So I tried to go to every get-together she did and act like I was a real party animal to impress her. I told her as I poured the milk over the broken banana.
Then what happened to her?
Hope mumbled from between her fingers. She left with another guy enough times that I eventually took the hint. But I did learn how to make some kick-ass recovery smoothies. Like just milk and a banana. Great for spicy stuff. I had to drink like 3 of these after the chili debacle. But for a hangover, we had a little ginger and a few pieces of pineapple, and the secret ingredient, a crushed up Excedrin.
You're a real alchemist, are you?
Hope sighed as she rubbed her temples.
Put 2 in mine. Hey, where the hell's my mug? The one with Stitch on it.
Abigail suddenly barked after she opened the cabinet where they kept the cups. I don't know. Why would someone take your mug? I asked, sprinkling a second crushed up Excedrin into Hope's smoothie.
Please don't yell,
Hope groaned from her place at the table.
Hey, what the hell happened to all my cereal?
Destiny asked, looking into another cabinet. $50 says you guys got plastered last night, came in here, lost your mug, and Destiny ate all the cereal, then you forgot about it, I suggested. Or, hold on, I told him as I pulled out my phone. Louie, do you know where your goddamn goblin is right now?
Huh? Yeah, he's right here. Vigorously molesting a stuffed animal he found in the parking lot. We want to stop him, but what else does he really got going for him, you know?
He answered over the disturbing sound of repeated squeaking in the background.
Why do you ask?
No, nothing. Don't worry about it. Some stuff just turned up missing. Sorry to interrupt, I said before hanging up and putting my phone away. Well, that was very regretful, I sighed, hitting the blend button. The 3 of them were halfway through their smoothies when prophecy comes poofing in.
Has anyone seen my purple headphones? The ones with the little hearts all over?
She asked, seemingly a little confused.
I never take them out of my room, but...
It's just like they disappeared, I finished for her.
Yeah, you know where they are?
No, but I don't think it'll be too long before something else shows up, Miss...
Oi!
Anyone see my hat? Jekyll interrupted as if on cue. Ruddy thing's just vanished. Been bothering me all morning. I groaned when everyone's heads turned to face me, and I knew what it meant. Alright, I'll figure it out.
What are you doing?
Destiny asked as she knelt down beside me, where I was in the middle of investigating a few strange tears on the roll of toilet paper in the bathroom closet to the lounge. Hold on, I told her before I called Abigail into the room.
What?
She asked in a usual grumpy tone. Have you been clipping your fingernails?
Yeah, why?
She asked back indignantly. I'm just wondering where all these shred marks on this roll came from, I explained as I pointed at the space next to the toilet.
You're not gonna catch me taking that chance. It only takes one time forgetting to trim them and then going to wipe, and it just takes once. Don't look at me, mine retract.
Hope interjected casually as she strolled by the door.
Found something,
Prophecy suddenly shouted before I could think of anything else.
Come look.
Following her voice, we ended up in an area of the mansion people seemed to rarely use. The hall that went to Fate's room. Once I got there, I could see what she was talking about. A trail of cereal. Loose pieces that occasionally sprinkled the floor leading up to the closed door of Fate's room. Okay, so what's going on here? I asked, walking up beside Prophecy. No clue, she answered with a shrug. Just found this and told you.
You can go in,
Destiny said quietly from beside me.
Just don't mess with anything.
You don't want to?
No,
None of us have been going in there since, you know. She answered softly, stuffing her hands into the pockets of her hoodie. Oh, okay, I guess. Here it goes, I said under my breath, slowly raising Rissa's pepper spray gun and holding it at the ready. I barely had the door cracked before I could see the small pile of random junk stacked up in the middle of the floor. Hey, look at that, I said to Prophecy, opening the door the rest of the way for her to see. What the hell is... Hey, my headphones! She snapped as she darted into the room. Abigail's mug, cereal boxes, Jekyll's hat, and look at all this other stuff, she said as she sorted through it. DVDs, one of my dad's clocks, stuffed animals. What's going on? There's nobody in here. So where are they? I'm not really sure. It's like stuff a child would steal, I answered as I picked up an empty drink from the near pile of pilfered possibilities. But I might know how to figure it out. Later that night, we continued our usual Christmas movie ritual and acted like everything was normal. But instead of following Destiny back to her room like usual, I doubled back and camped out in a chair in the dark corner of the kitchen. It took a few hours before I heard the soft creak of the floorboards, and a shadowy figure lurked through the room. I could just make out their silhouette as they passed between me and the window on the way to the refrigerator. I could hear the soft pop of the door being open and the light illuminating the entire kitchen. Caught you, I finally said as the light washed across my face. Don't run, I tried to warn, but it didn't work. The figure bolted towards the nearest door and ran headfirst into Hope, who'd been waiting there the whole time. Whoa, what's the hurry? She chuckled as she held the squalling, flailing creature up by one of their arms. It's a little girl, she suddenly added, almost flustered by the realization. What, for real? I asked as I flicked the overhead light on to get a better look, and to my amazement, it was. Hope was holding on to a kicking, spitting, hissing female thing. Capital T, thing. Its shape was all over the place, twisting and changing, random mouths and eyes popping up suddenly and disappearing just as fast as she tried to fight her way free. You might as well give up. You're not getting away from her, I said, making my way over to the chaos. What's going on? Hey, you caught a mimic! Abigail said as she wandered into the kitchen to investigate the source of the commotion. The trunk, you idiot! You brought a mimic right into the mansion! A what? Those are real? I asked as the girl continued to scratch at Hope. Rare though, she answered, leaning over to inspect the thing. Can't really change into other animals like people, otherwise they end up looking off. So they mimic things like furniture that don't look as uncanny. To catch their prey? Huh? No? At least not anymore. Think of them as like a house parasite. Like at night your coffee table suddenly starts coming to life and eating your food. I bet that burglar you caught just stole her by accident, she explained, trying and failing to hold back a laugh, and then finally the mimic spoke. Just hold still, I'm not gonna hurt you, Hope tried to assure her. To which she responded with, Just let me go, fucking cow skunk bitch, ugly slut giant! I'm just gonna pull one of her fingers off. Hope, no. I stopped her as she tried to grab one of the mimic's hands. What, she can grow it back? Probably, she argued, still reaching for the hand. Stop, I scolded, shifting my attention to the foul-mouthed creature. What's your name? I attempted to ask. Suck my ass, you mutilated greaseball! Huh, I mumbled, tonguing the inside of my cheek, trying to stay calm. Okay, one more time, I thought out loud. You sure you don't want to tell me your name? I asked again as patiently as I could. I don't have one, you fuckhead! I grumbled to myself as I noticed Hope and Abigail pursing their lips to keep from laughing. Okay, miss. Look, here's the deal. That's Hope. And that's Abigail. There's no way in hell you'd be able to get away or do anything to me
if just one of them were in the room with me. But we got them both here right now. You get what I'm saying? So I'm gonna tell Hope to let you down. And you're gonna come sit at this table with me. And not do anything that'll make any of this worse for any of us. Okay? After seemingly thinking for a while, she eventually nodded her head once, and Hope let her drop to the floor. But she couldn't help putting her eyes at me as she slowly strolled over to the kitchen table. Once things slowed down and I got a good look at her, the personality and profanity made more sense. You couldn't get more of a stereotypical nonconformist edgy kid if you tried. She looked like she just crawled out of Hot Topic, but like a late 90s, early 2000s one where they mostly just carried goth stuff. But the weird goth kid clothes and the heavy dark eyeshadow didn't quite go with her dark skin. Guess I always just pictured goth kids as kinda super pale. So, actually one second, I told her, holding up a finger and walking closer to Hope and Abigail. Get that girl in the bath. Now, I hissed into their ears. She smells like mothballs and asshole. Yeah, now you mention it. I guess when she shapeshifts, it seals the smell in, but now? Abigail agreed. But why do we have to? Because she's a little girl. I'm a grown man, and there's no way that would end with me not losing an eye, or worse. I cut her off. What's she gonna do to YouTube, really? Fine. Hey you, urchin. Come on, you get in a bath, Abigail said as she walked over to the little girl. Go fuck yourself, midget, she barked back defensively. Touch me and I swear I'll put my foot up your ass. Surprisingly, Abigail didn't do much of anything in response to what she said. Just leaned down, calmly and slowly, until her head was next to the girl's, and she whispered something into her ear that I couldn't make out. But as she spoke, the girl's eyes got wider and wider, until she eventually stood up and walked to the bathroom on her own. I'll go make sure she actually uses soap, Hope said awkwardly before poofing away. Okay, I took a stupid bath. Now what? The girl snapped as she angrily crossed her arms and dropped back down into a seat at the table, one of Prophecy's shirts hanging off her small shoulders. You sure you don't want me to wake Destiny up? Prophecy asked before she headed back to her room. Nah, let us sleep. I think we got this, I answered before sitting at the table across from the girl. So, what should we call you if you don't have a name? I tried to ask, but all I got was a middle finger. Look, I know it's gotta be kinda scary. A little girl in a I'm not a girl. I'm sorry, huh? I asked, kinda caught off guard by the statement. Stop calling me a little girl, she mumbled, refusing to make eye contact. Oh, okay then. So, young lady? What about your parents? You know where they are? I don't have parents, she answered bluntly, not looking at me. Well, that complicates damn near everything, I sighed, leaning back in my chair. Look, I'm gonna make a call. You just don't move, I told her as I stood up from the table and walked into the next room. Hey, Paige. Yeah, sorry, I know it's late, but we got a bit of an issue. Okay, so here's the deal. There's someone who's gonna take you in, let you live in their home. You don't have to hide or steal anything, but there's gonna be a school opening up around here before long, I explained as I sat back down at the table. A school for paranormals like yourself. A school you will be attending. Now, the place you'll be staying, there's a boy about your age. His name's Alex, and you will get along. Once you get to know each other, I think you'll realize you have a lot more in common than you think. What makes you think I want to go to school? She argued. Nothing. No kid wants to go to school. But you still have to. Look, it's either this or I give you to Dr. Jekyll to run experiments on. Or maybe you want to live upstairs with Abigail. Take your pick. Unsurprisingly, she chose school. About an hour later, Paige was pulling up to cart her off to the apartment where she'd be living from then on. What's going on? Destiny asked sleepily, walking out to meet me in the driveway as she rubbed her eyes. Long story. Come on, go back to bed. I gotta do some Christmas shopping before it's too late, I told her as I nudged her towards her room. But I thought you already ordered all the things, she mumbled, drowsily stumbling down the hall. Well, yeah, I did, but there's still one more part to it. It'll make sense when you see it. The hell are we doing here? Louis asked as he looked up with a very confused expression at the nearest kitchen appliance dealership we could find. Some kind of place that sold restaurant equipment. Don't worry about it. Just help me out. You still gotta find a recycling place after this, so let's get moving, I told him, leading the way into the building. Still got some last minute stuff to buy too.
Yes, dear. Be right there.
He joked as he jogged to catch up. He's been in there for a long time. I could hear Abigail whisper on the other side of the door to the library on Christmas Eve. That was the only room with enough space to accommodate what I was up to. No poofing, no passing through walls, I shouted out into the hall. Just leave the rolls of wrapping paper beside the door. I told you, you were being too loud, I heard Destiny hiss as they all wandered off. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and 10. I counted, standing up from the mess. Just one more thing, I thought out loud, pulling out my phone. Hey Relic, want to help pull off a Christmas miracle? Hey, wake up, it's Christmas! Destiny hissed loudly into my face as she bounced me up and down on the bed. Wake up! Okay, I'm up. I groaned as I rolled out of bed. Is he up? I hear Abigail ask about the same time as I see her head poking out from around the corner. Hurry up, she added before scurrying down the hall. I'm gonna go drag Jackal up here. See? Even Abigail's excited. Destiny chirped happily as she threw a pink hoodie on and started trying to pull me out of the bedroom. But before I could say anything, the doorbell rang. Who's that? She asked, confused by the sound. Brisa and Madison stayed here last night. Yeah, I'll get it. I sighed, walking around her and headed to the door. Hello there, Athena said so rhythmically it was nearly a song as I opened the door. So glad to have been invited, she added as she let herself in, walking between me and Destiny. Jose, explain please, Destiny whispered as she passed by. I know, but like Prophecy said, it's Hope's first Christmas with you guys. Or at all. So I figured, I'd try at least to get as much of her actual family together for it as possible. Look, I had to take her up on that stupid training offer of hers to get her here. Just go with it, please. Okay, but I'm still not so sure about it, she mumbled as she walked away. I'll have to admit, it was more than a little surprising when I got your call, Athena said as she locked eyes with me. But this is, all things considered, quite the novel experience, and of course always nice to see you again. Now since you brought me that sword and shield, I said, walking by her and towards the living room. You seem to have misremembered. I had Hephaestus bring those to you, she responded casually as she walked along beside me. You're better at it than Hope, I told her as we walked along the hall. But it's something she told me a while back. Smell. It's harder to copy the smell. You had the right scent, but it wasn't anywhere near as strong. He smells like a volcano ate a mountain of boiled eggs and ripped an atomic shot 24/7. You smell like a burnt-out charcoal grill. And when you stand, you lean forward on your toes and lift your heels every now and then. Hope and me could do it too. He stands completely flat-footed. Such a clever young man, she cooed almost sinisterly from behind me. Yeah, so I've heard. I sighed, stopping just before we got to the living room where everyone had gathered around the tree.
Look, I'll do whatever it is you're trying to get me to do. All I'm asking is you pretend to be a half-decent parent and give Hope an enjoyable first Christmas here. You do that, you'll never have any trouble out of me from here on out. That sounded mildly insulting, but fair enough. I'm never going to win Mother of the Year after all. So you have a deal? She said, reaching out to shake my hand. Shall we then? Yeah, I guess. I sighed one more time before walking around the corner. Okay, so, Hope, Count, I kinda invited someone behind your back, so don't get too mad. I half apologized as I waved Athena into the room. Hello there, handsome. It's been ages, hasn't it? She said, winking at the Count as she entered the room. Jose, you do remember she tried to kill me, right? You remember she tried to kill you? Hope said as she slowly stood from her place on the couch. Yeah, that's getting to be a pretty big club at this point. I don't even think I'm keeping count anymore, I said with a shrug. Look, just everyone, if Christmas is about anything, it's about coming together, leaving the past in the past, and appreciating what we still got, right? Prophecy, destiny, they got to have this with their own moms. Even if it's just this once, I thought you should get the chance, you know? Yeah, okay, fine, she said grumpily, flopping down back onto the couch. Hey, what are you doing here? Abigail asked as she walked into the room, a glass full of dark liquid in hand. I was invited. Say, what do we have here? She asked when she noticed the glass. Chocolate milk with vodka and ice cubes made of the same thing so it keeps it cold and doesn't water it down. Call it a Siberian skid mark, Abigail explained as she tried to take a sip. Oh, really? Let me see what this is all about, Athena said, quickly taking the glass from her and sucking the liquid through the straw. Oh, how lovely. Thank you, dear, she hummed, passively declaring the drink as hers now. We'll wait, I told Abigail as she rolled her eyes in frustration and headed back to the kitchen. Sometime later, after everyone had opened their presents to each other, and I had a small pile sitting beside me on the couch, that's when everyone's eyes finally locked onto me as if to say, Hold up, what you get us? Okay, I get it, I said with a grin as I moved out of the way and sat near where Athena and the Count had slowly gravitated towards each other on the other side of the room like nobody had noticed. We'll need the extra space, I told them when they both looked at me curiously. That's when I took out my phone and hit the call button. Alright everyone, here we go. 3, 2, 1. I counted and gave my fingers a sharp snap. The second the sound cracked across the room, 7 huge boxes of Christmas-wrapped paper instantly arrived in the room. The name tag on each matching the person it appeared next to. There would have been 8, but Relic isn't very fond of crowds and noisy events, so I let him keep his at his apartment where we stashed them the night before. What are these? Destiny asked as she inspected the gigantic box. The name tag's in the front. Open it up and dig. I answered as the grin snuck across my face. I barely got the words out before I heard, Oh my god! A bunch of balled up newspaper! There's presents in the paper! Abigail squealed as she disappeared ankle deep into her own box. Then, slowly, one by one, they all started tunneling into their own boxes as they fished the random trinkets out. Even Hope had dove head first and was shoveling paper out of the way like she was digging for china. It was then I happened to glance over my left shoulder and caught out of the corner of my eye Athena quietly snapping a picture of Hope as she popped out of her box, proudly holding the Tomb Raider bedspread I'd found for her. Ha! Tomb Raider! I get it. She trailed off when she turned to face me and caught Athena in the middle of taking a picture. She wasn't able to dive back into the box before I could see her face flush red and hear the click of the phone taking a photo from beside me. I didn't think it would feel like this. Huh? I asked, turning to face Athena as she stared down at the picture, but she never answered me. So I just turned back to watch everyone tunnel deeper into their respective boxes. By then I could hear the constant clicks from the other side of her as the Count took picture after picture after picture as fast as he could push the button. I could tell when Abigail reached the back of her box when I heard,
Huh? What even is this?
she asked as a head popped out of the mound of newspaper balls. Open it up, you'll see.
It's a... Did you get me a skin stitch?
She asked nervously.
What? No, it's a onesie. It's like a full-body sweater. Look,
I explained as I unzipped it and held it out.
get in. It looks like someone killed in skin stitch.
She repeated cautiously.
Okay. But I don't know about this.
Despite the reservation, it only took about 10 minutes for her to decide she loved it and never planned to take it off again. I think the blue-eared hairband really sold it for her.
It was so much fun. Where did you get that idea?
Destiny asked once the gift mining had finally come to an end. My granddad. He used to do it before he passed away.
You okay? Was it the aesthetic thing again?
She asked, nervously, when she noticed me stumble over my words a little. Yeah, it wasn't that bad this time, though. I'll be fine. Everything's cool, promise. Just keep having fun.
Okay, just tell me if you start getting,
she said, running her fingers over the pink ruby in the bracelet I taped to the back of her box.
It's so pretty. It wasn't too expensive though, was it?
The dealer was having a sale, don't worry about it. I assured her, which wasn't a lie. The dealer was having a sale, just not on that particular kind of thing. I found out about pink rubies and got the idea for one as a gift cemented in my brain, before I found out how goddamn expensive they can get. My prop collection shrank 3 times that Christmas.
Oh, I almost forgot. Here,
Hope said, suddenly shoving a small box into my hands. What's this? I asked as I slowly opened the package.
It's what you asked for, right? Water from a glacier in Alaska that's been blessed by an Eskimo medicine man?
The glacier water was easy.
It took forever to find an Eskimo medicine man to bless it, though.
Hope, did you really get me actual magic water? I asked in disbelief.
You said that's what you wanted. It seemed pretty specific, so I figured it must have been important.
She answered proudly.
Hope?
Destiny started to say, but I shot her a look to make sure she knew to never tell her what she was about to tell her.
That was really sweet of you. That must have been so hard to get.
Yeah, I mean, wow. Thanks. I didn't think you'd actually be able to get it. Really. Thank you, Hope. I told her and watched her as the look of smug accomplishment shined down from a beaming face.
No problem. Wasn't that big of a deal,
she said before strolling back proudly to a spot. Holy shit. She got me the magic water boy glacier water. I whispered to Destiny as we both gazed down at the almost glowing blue ice-cold water. Once all the paper was crammed back into the boxes, we finally moved on to the hard drugs of Christmas movies whilst we waited for the ham Destiny had in the oven. I've never seen 2 people cackle with maniacal glee when Hope and Athena were watching Kevin torment Marv and Harry in a Home Alone movie. It was the weirdest bonding experience I'd ever seen in my entire goddamn life. And then the spider scene came up, and Destiny immediately turned and gave me this look like, what if that but snake? Knowing exactly what that look meant, I just mouthed, I will smother you in your sleep, which made it double over, laughing right alongside Hope and Athena.
You really cooked this?
Hope asked as she put another piece of ham in her mouth.
The mashed potatoes too? Before I got the job at the park, I used to get bored being cooped up here all day. So I started teaching myself to cook and bake and stuff,
she answered proudly.
I tried, but I kept burning everything.
Prophecy admitted, scooping up a fork of mashed potatoes and black-eyed peas. Things kept catching fire. Ah yes, the great lasagna fire of 87. The Count suddenly said with a grim look on his face.
I'd never heard the word flashpoint before. she mumbled, sinking down in her chair as Destiny giggled quietly beside her. After breaking for dinner, we all gathered back in the living room to resume the watching of the Christmas movies with the mother of all Christmas movies, A Christmas Story. There's something about it for the ones who were around to remember back when every TV station would play it over and over and over again once December rolled around. It made it the Christmas movie of all Christmas movies. A combination of a great story and raw, undiluted nostalgia. The moment I was waiting on didn't disappoint. Hope and Athena both stood up out of their seats and cheered when Ralphie finally kicked the shit out of Scott Farkas.
Let him go, it's not over till it's over.
Hope shouted at the TV as Ralphie's mom pulled him off the screaming child. Then, once the sun was already long gone, it was time for Christmas vacation. I think by then the itis had started to kick in and knock us all out one by one. I managed to stay conscious, engrossed in the movie, long enough to glance over and see where Athena had passed out next to the Count, who had already fallen asleep a while before and had her head propped up against his shoulder. Huh, she almost looks normal, I thought to myself before I looked around to see who else was still awake, which by that time was just Abigail, who was sitting cross-legged on the floor in front of the TV, still in a Stitch onesie. Hey, Abigail, I said to get her attention, wavering over to where I was on the couch, Destiny having fallen asleep, pinning me in place.
Huh? What is it?
She asked as she crawled over instead of bothering to get all the way up. How was it? Fun? I asked sleepily. The box thing. Do it again next year, she said happily as she stood up. And thanks for this, she added as she looked down at the blue onesie. You're welcome, I mumbled as my eyelids got heavier and heavier as I heard the sounds of the movie playing in the distance. I guess I'm glad Destiny talked me into all this Christmas stuff too.